Competitive Pokemon. It's time for King Gambit and Frostlass to hit the field over for Lorenzo, and we've got Weirdeer and Milotic for Jamie, and an immediate Defiant boost as well from the Intimidate on the Weirdeer.
That's another thing that Weirdeer does give you, the ability to have a little bit of power control. What I'm interested in now is the training between Weirdeer and Milotic. Although there is Trick Room on the set, seeing this lead composition from Jamie makes me think that Weirdeer is trained to be faster than the Milotic, a combination gravity, then hypnosis on the Milotic, so that it doesn't have to take a turn going for a coil, getting that accuracy up. And so, yes, there is a Defiant boost on the King Gambit to its attack. That's kind of scary, but actually, if what I suspect is true, Milotic is going to be stopping that King Gambit in its tracks.
Really nice that the Weirdeer has access to the Colbur Berry here. That's going to be weakening super effective Dark-type damage, which you want in the face of this King Gambit. Now it's boosted all the more so. Mega Frostlass is becoming the Ice Queen that we all know and love thanks to Pokemon Legends EA. It's going to get that snow coming down on the field, and everyone is going to be looking a whole lot frostier. Shadow Ball now into the Milotic. Let's hope it doesn't get a special defense drop, boosting the competitive, but no, it's going to be just the gravity, no boost to speak of on that Milotic. Gravity, and now Milotic can go for an immediate hypnosis, neutralize the threat of that King Gambit that was reigning supreme, but now it's supine.
We have new mechanics in Pokemon Champions as well, so this King Gambit will sleep for one less turn than in Scarlet and Violet overall, so it does have to take. It has taken its mandatory turn of sleep. Could wake up this turn, could wake up next turn. After next turn, it will definitely wake up rather than having the chance to sleep for another turn there. So Jamie trying to play on the offensive with the sleep, stop Lorenzo in their tracks, and then bring something in from the back. And it's down to Lorenzo to fight through that.
Yeah, it's important to know as well that King Gambit has already burned its first turn of sleep here, so it could even wake up on the very next turn, so you still need to deal with it sooner rather than later, and this Weirdeer, for example, cannot touch it. Another Shadow Ball right now into the Milotic, just rolling that dice, hoping you don't get another competitive boost, but you don't. What Jamie does get off is yet another Hypnosis, this time coming out from the Weirdeer. Both of these sleepy time Pokemon love to see the napping on the other side, and Milotic can now get boosted with these coils, boosting its accuracy, which will help with future Hypnoses, as well as its defense, crucially.
And getting some HP back from the leftovers as well. And I think this is what Jamie's team is really trying to do. But I think Lorenzo is playing this really well in the fact that sleep doesn't last as long as it used to. And so one of the ways, especially when someone's using Hypnosis or Sleep Powder or any of these other effects against you, sometimes it's best, especially when the King Gambit cannot be attacked by the Weirdeer, to stand your ground and try to just wait out the sleep.
I really like this play from Jamie here, getting the Floette in order to try and get boosted up as quickly as possible, going for these Calm Minds. So you boosted up, this Milotic is all of a sudden looking like his Hypnosis will never miss. King Gambit wants to take a leaf out of Jamie's book and get some boost going of its own. Swords Dance, that magnificent blade gleaming atop its head, and it's channeling all of that energy. Milotic, on the meanwhile, is going to be channeling all of those leftovers.
Now, this King Gambit usually would be really threatening to the Floette that's just been brought in by Jamie, but Lorenzo has opted for the Swords Dance instead of Iron Head or Low Kick as a coverage move, and so this Floette is actually looking really safe in front of the King Gambit, where normally, it's kind of a little bit dicey, right? And so, although Lorenzo has been able to wait out the sleep, has been able to get themselves in a slightly better position. It's actually Jamie that's really on the front foot in this match and can now start putting on the pressure, not fearing that Milotic is going to be taking too much damage from the King Gambit that is boosted up.
Well, speaking of front foot, that's exactly what Lorenzo wants to get on, switching in their Sneasler, which is going to be threatening this Floette all the more. Floette has gone for its Mega Floette in the first round that we stream of Pokemon Champions here in Turin. Who'd have thunk it? King Gambit is going to be keeping itself safe from any damage, going for its Protect now. Meanwhile, Floette can get a Calm Mind up, but on future turns, that Sneasler is going to be threatening so much. So Jamie is going to want to be dealing with this Sneasler sooner, so much sooner rather than later. Going to be a Hypnosis targeted once more down into this King Gambit. And it's worth noting, with the Swords Dance and holding the black glasses, this King Gambit will still be threatening really decent damage into the Floette.
Lorenzo's done a really good job here of getting the fake out in, putting the pressure on, trying to slow Jamie down. But Jamie's been able to get up to coils already, and that Milotic is looking very, very difficult to take out. Lorenzo targeting it down early and aggressively with the Shadow Ball has really made an impact in Milotic's health. Really nice that it didn't get the competitive boost as well. But the question is like, with that leftovers recovery ticking away turn after turn and no more damage, and all of this positive pressure that Jamie's putting on with the Milotic Hypnosis, how is this Milotic not going to be back up at full HP in a few turns and going to be taking away all of that good progress that Lorenzo got early?
Yeah, you might be waking up sooner now in Pokemon Champions, but if you keep being put back to sleep, it doesn't really matter, does it? As Milotic will be flinching as the result of that fake-out Moonblast. Turned into Sneasler, it's a neutral hit being a part-fighting Pokemon, and with that boost, there's that one-hit KO. Sneasler is down. That's one Pokemon down for Lorenzo. Of course, Milotic flinching from the fake-out. The count-out clean, though, that's enough just to neutralize the Serpent and send it slithering back to the depths.
Wow, not even a critical hit as well. I wasn't sure whether or not that would actually pick it up. This Kingambit does have the Black Glasses item to give a bit of a boost to those Dark-type attacks, and so Swords Dance and two coils cancelling each other out, and it looks like the Milotic maybe trained to be a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more trained in other areas than its physical defense. But a really good progress there for Lorenzo. Had to give up the Sneasler in the process, which is a little bit scary when that Floette has got a Calm Mind boost up already. But this Defiant, with the Intimidate coming in from Wordier, is really starting to stack up.
So this Kingambit is now, I believe, at +4.
It's +4.
+4. Swords Dance with a previous.
Yeah, because of the Defiant going away previously. So I was a boost behind. So yeah, not surprising actually that Kingambit picked up the KO.
Unsurprising to be a boost behind on this old timer, isn't it, Ben? Nah, he's very much in the present. Don't you worry, traders. Now, of course, this Frostlass is still snoozing. That doesn't prevent it from getting its Snow Warning ability activated all the same. Weirdeer is such a cool adaptation into something like a Sneasler because it takes double super effective from Psychic Move.
There it is.
But this time the Sneasler's down and the Aurora Veil is up, mitigating the special and physical damage coming out from Jamie's side of the field. The Dazzling Gleam, let's not forget it's boosted, but you can see the dividends that the Aurora Veil is paying here. A Hypnosis will be connecting onto the Kingambit, and let's not forget the gravity has expired now. That's not to say all the Pokemon are now floating. It's just to say that this Weirdeer is feeling accurate. This Kingambit is put back to sleep. It might be at +4, but if you're snoozing, you're losing.
The so-called blind hypnosis there, Jamie going for the outs that he has in that position, because the Floette is really now under pressure. It's like the Cowtail Cleave with 4 stages of increased attack on the Kingambit has turned into an Iron Head.
Yeah.
Overall, taking away the resistance that it has to that move. And now the Floette's really on the back foot here. Blizzard coming out, not doing too much damage. These Pokemon very, very bulky on Jamie's side. Ooh. Dazzling Gleam, though, with the Aurora Veil, not quite enough to pick up the KO. Gravity goes back, so Jamie getting that advantageous position, but Kingambit can wake up this turn.
It can, but will it? That's the question. The Dazzling Gleam just chipping away and away and away here. Let's not forget this Weirdeer cannot touch the Kingambit. Its only damaging move is Psy-Seal Bash. That's a Psychic type. Kingambit is a Dark type. But slowly but surely, Jamie is removing that +4 threat from the field.
The question is how much damage does Sucker Punch do? And does Lorenzo want to go for that alongside a Blizzard or a Shadow Ball? You're absolutely right. This Kingambit is a big, big win condition for Lorenzo. If that Floette goes down on this turn, then whatever Pokemon that's in the back that we're finding out, Ceruledge, isn't necessarily going to have a good time.
I really like this play, though, from Jamie. You can't go for a Sucker Punch if you're going to be switching out. I know it does damage into a damaging move, but it's no Sucker Punch to speak of. The Dazzling Gleam! Frostlass, of course, protected, but Kingambit is on such low HP, and this Floette is boosted. It's going down. That's a key Pokemon for Lorenzo removed there, and down to just their final 2. No more switching can happen. Once this snow is gone, it's gone.
And the question is what that last Pokemon is for Lorenzo. If it's a Basculegion, actually, it's in a pretty good spot to be able to just launch itself into Jamie's Pokemon with Wave Crashes. Getting rid of that Milotic is actually kind of key in that scenario where you want to remove the Pokemon that's resisted you. You can't lock in, you can't go for Last Respects turn after turn after turn because that Wordier is part normal type. But because its Basculegion is carrying a Citrus Berry, it does get the option to be able to change its type. And now it comes down to the speed training. Is that Floette faster than the Basculegion? Is the Ceruledge and its Shadow Sneak going to be able to put a lot of damage onto the Basculegion, maybe allow with the Aurora Veil up, or even with the Aurora Veil up, the Moonblast to be able to knock out the Serral as well. So there's a lot of questions in this turn. It's really, really all up in the air.
It's so exciting. It couldn't be a better kicking off of Pokemon Champions here in EU. Now, this is Basque Legion carrying the Citrus Berry. No Focus Sash to speak of, but just how quickly will Jamie be able to remove it all the same? The Moonblast now through the Auroville. That's going to get that Basque Legion munching as well. Recovered, but now that berry has been spent. And where is the Last Respect going? It's into the boosted Floette, and this is what Basque Legion does. I see your boost, but my Last Respect is powered up basically as much as it can. Save that Frostlass being knocked out as well. And just neutralizing that threat in the Floette, forcing Weirdeer back out onto the field.
Weirdeer's going to get that Intimidate down onto the Basque Legion as well. And there's a nice little mechanic here in terms of damage. The Shadow Sneak goes into the Frostlass. Not that the Basque Legion needs it, by the way. The Basque Legion's Last Respects after the Frostlass would go down to a Shadow Sneak is going to be boosted up even more in power and become as powerful as it possibly can. I suppose there's a big thing about targeting, the big thing about double protects here coming out from this Mega Frostlass.
There you go. You can see the trainers couldn't quite believe it themselves. A double protect, meaning that Shadow Sneak cannot get the KO there. Last Respect, super effective into Serral. That's, of course, going to be the one-hit KO. Let's not forget that this Weirdeer is not immune to the other moves that this Basque Legion can go for. The critical hit here, I don't think that mattered. It's been so powered up, but the Hypnosis does connect. The gravity is still strong with this one, but can this Weirdeer be the deer that takes us all the way through to a victory for Jamie? I did not expect that in our first Pokemon Champions game in EU, we would have a solo Weirdeer having to be the strongest soldier.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a strong Pokemon overall. It's got a lot going for it. And actually, you know, aside from the ability for it to go for Trick Room, the ability for this Gravnosis sort of strategy, it's actually just quite powerful in the attacks that it can go for. Now the Basque Legion taking its mandatory turn of sleep, the Side Shield Bash going into the Frostlass.
Nice.
But is it? Oh, it's defense boost on the Weirdeer.
Defense boost, yeah. Side Shield Bash is such a rare move, so don't blame me there, Ben. This Weirdeer is only on 20. The defense boost probably isn't going to save it here, even though this Basque Legion also has an attack drop. The Basque Legion is snoozing, but can this Weirdeer get the win before it wakes up? It's going to be such fine margins here.
I think it's an Aquajet range, honestly. Even
If that's
the case. Basque Legion wakes up, goes for the Wave Crash, doesn't even need to worry about the damage. Weirdeer goes down, and it is Lorenzo taking our first game in Pokemon Champions here in Turin.
My goodness, wouldn't you just want to be on one of Weirdeer's stag doos? That's going to be Lorenzo claiming the victory here in round 2 of the Turin Special Championships. Now, that could not have been a more thrilling way to kick off our Pokemon Champions season. I mean, with Jamie Boyt, what more could you expect? I'd love to see this Superior coming, but I think in the face of a Mega Frostlass team, it's unlikely.
Pretty unlikely. And yeah, I think Weirdeer is actually... You're in a pretty odd spot with it, right? If you're Jamie, because you want to bring it to set up the gravity so that the Hypnosis stuff is working. Yeah. But against that King Gambit, you saw how much of a difficult time that Lorenzo was having against the constant barrage of Hypnoses, which is not something that I expected to see in our first Championships match, but here we are. And then you look at Pokemon like Komodo on Jamie's side, you kind of want to bring it as well, but if you remember from Team Preview, its stat alignment was naive, which means that it has a downside in its special defense, and that's, again, not something that you want to see going up against a Mega Frostlass, because those Blizzards are going to be hitting that much harder.
It's worth stating the obvious here, trainers. There's no terastallization, okay? If you're watching this thinking, well, why can't they just terastallize? It's because they can't terastallize. That was very much locked to Scarlet and Violet. Right now, it's all about Mega Evolution. For now, we have left terastallization in the past. It was very close there for Jamie, and it could have become a win. Jamie is rolling a lot of dice with the team that they're playing, hoping for multiple turns of sleep, hoping that Hypnosis connects, and of course, going for Gravity and Coil is going to help that cause.
I was going to say, it's like, it's rolling the dice, but the dice are kind of loaded.
That's true, absolutely, but there's no loaded dice in Pokemon Champions. So, there you go. Another item that we don't have access to. What are you thinking, Ben? What do you think Jamie should do?
I think Jamie's strategy was actually pretty good. Getting the Floette in a nice period to get the Carmine up and start dishing out the damage. I think one more attack with the Floette would have put Jamie into a position that it was really hard to take back from. But here we are, getting into game 2 here.
Okay!
And the Superior coming out. Sneasler and King Gambit for Lorenzo.
And it's the shiny Serperior as well. I'd expect nothing less given that Jamie's favourite Pokemon is Serperior. So cool to hear this retro Pokemon battle music from previous generations too. Shout out to Hoenn. Right, so both Floette and Serperior are really threatened here by the Sneasler. Going for his Gunk Shot. Let's not forget, it's not Dire Claw on this Sneasler, just that Gunk Shot. And it's a move that can very much miss.
Unless gravity is up, in which case it would be flawless accuracy there. But I really like this start for Lorenzo, not wanting to let Jamie start setting up in the same way that he did in game one. Still using that King Gambit. Of course, notably the White Herb on the Sneasler would stop any Intimidate drops from the Weird Ear as well.
Mega Floette now is radiating that Fairy Aura, but it's not going to be able to do anything this turn. It's going to be flinch, so no super effective Gunk Shots here. Serperior going for the Reflect. Pokemon that can be run supportively, but once it gets those Contrary boosts with Leaf Storm, can be very much offensive as well. Kingambit is going to be setting up as well. Both of these trainers want to get their Pokemon set up. Let's not forget this Kingambit reached +4 in the last game. Let's see if it can go even further this time.
And unlike in the last game, it feels like Lorenzo's really on the front foot here, being able to boost up faster than Jamie can neutralize the damage. I mean, Reflect you can only use once. It doesn't stack if you use it again. And Swords Dance on the King Gambit is getting more of a boost than the Reflect is stopping. So that King Gambit is still more powerful than when it started at the start of the battle. Not just that, as you said, the Sneasler, Gunk Shot down into these two Pokemon that take super effective damage from it. Difficult spot to be in.
Another difficult spot to be in is paralyzing your Sneasler. It might not be able to move. There's an 8th chance that it won't be able to move. That's another change coming into Pokemon Champions. There's Moonblast now. With the boost from Mega Evolution, no Carmines yet, brings this Kingambit down to about 1/3 of its HP. And the Sneasler is fully paralyzed. So again, rolling that dice, and it's in Jamie's favor. Now, with the Swords Dance, the Kowtow Cleave, you can see how well the Floette takes that through the Reflect. There are so many modifications to bear in mind.
And it does look like this Floette wouldn't go down to a Sucker Punch. So Jamie kind of in a good position to be able to start dealing some damage and compounding the chances for that Sneasler to not be able to act on this turn. Not only is it the Gunk Shot that could miss, but also that paralysis chance. And also the fact that the speed has been dropped on that Sneasler now that the Floette the Floette hasn't got a boost up, but it's still going to threaten quite a lot of damage into either target, and it can go first.
Yeah, and Serperior with the Citrus Berry, so healing up that damage. The Serperior only has access to Leaf Storm as a damaging move, which, look, it's pretty pitiful damage there and into both of the Pokemon over on Lorenzo's side of the field, but this is the thing. With a contrary ability, you get a boost to your special attack rather than a double drop. Oh, the Kingambit takes the Dazzling Gleam with just 5 HP. It's less powerful than the Moonblast, but the Gunk Shot lands. That Floette is down. Both of these trainers are hoping for a better luck, and so far it's kind of going in both of their directions.
You got to give it to Lorenzo as well. It's like it's really tough in that situation where the odds are stacked against you. It's like, well, have the resolve to click the button that if it goes off, gets you into a really nice position. That Floette being down is really, really big because there's still 2 Pokemon in the back, and arguably one of Jamie's strongest Pokemon has been felled already.
Oh, absolutely. Floette is the Pokemon with a target on its back coming into our early Pokemon Champions tournament. Ceruledge is going to be coming out here, though. So, yes, there are 4 Pokemon remaining for Lorenzo, but just look at those health bars, and Ceruledge will feast on this Kingambit in particular. You don't even need a bit of Blade. I was about to say Bitter Blast. That sounds like a cool move as well, but Shadow Sneak enough is going to do it, even though it's resisted. Kingambit is down. So, holes punched in both of these teams. Now, this Leaf Storm is going to be hitting much harder. Look at that. It gets the KO on a Sneasler. Again, not a sentence I thought I'd say in our first Cast of Champions. But now this Serperior is +4, and Jamie Boyt is going to be delighted right now to have their favorite Pokemon shiny boosted up. Could it sweep through Lorenzo's teeth?
Well, there is a Frostlass standing in the way.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Would probably be able to get the KO here. And in fact, the Basculegion coming in now, this is a strategy that a lot of players are just need to be really aware of. It's like, do I take the KO or do I not? A double KO looks really nice on paper initially, but then when it gives rise to Mega Frostlass and Basculegion at full, and you know that the Basculegion is faster than the Ceruledge because we saw that in the last game. Last Respects is boosted up to a place where it's powerful enough to knock out the Ceruledge. We saw it being able to do that to the Ceruledge last game after an Intimidate. Reflect is kind of the same sort of modifier going on there, and so So this Terra Ledge is really under a lot of pressure. Not only that, it has to take the Blizzard beforehand, right? So there's not even the sort of fine margins to play with there. And now where Jamie has taken a double KO, actually Lorenzo has got an advantage out of it.
3 ghosts and a snake. Snake's on a plane. Let's hope that this snake isn't on the wane. But in the face of a blizzard, it looks like it may well be. Basque Legion will just be keeping itself safe. Where has Jamie targeted? Calling it. Gave me a super effective Shadow Sneak onto the Frostlass. But now, next to move will be the Superior. It's +4. It's a Leaf Storm. And it's going to be enough to get the KO there onto the Mega Frostlass. And now the Superior's at +6. Jamie Boyt giving us a masterclass into how to win with your favorites.
Well, okay, that is absolutely down to the training of the Superior versus the training of the Floette. Mega Frostlass, because the Mega Frostlass is naturally faster than the Superior, but clearly Lorenzo has trained it to be a little bit more defensive, maybe a little bit more offensive in its special attack.
Yeah.
But at the expense of its speed. Now, if the Frostlass was outspeeding the Superior in that stage of the game for Lorenzo, but I think you could see the expression on his face there. He's thinking, hang on a second, I thought my Frostlass was going to be faster. Now it's not. Now I know that it's not, and now I've got to go back to the drawing board, try and figure out a way through this Superior that's looking really, really strong in this moment.
Oh, so cool. Let's not forget that Jamie did have a Pokemon unrevealed in the back there as well that could still have swung the match in their favor. Absolutely fascinating. You love to see it. We're going to a Game 3 between Jamie Boyt and Lorenzo Antognoni. If you're just tuning in, what are you doing? You need to have set an alarm trainer to get here for our first EU Pokemon Champions regional level event. And yes, all of those icons on Jamie Boyt's team, you're seeing them correctly. It is such a fast and funky and fun one. And at one-on-one, it could be Jamie Boyt claiming the victory here. But Lorenzo could use his potentially a little bit more tried and tested team, but with some fun text there as well, in order to claim the victory. It couldn't be a better way to kick off our Turin Special Championships.
Do you reckon that the Scovillain could be the bring?
Oh, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I mean, it's obviously a fantastic play into the Superior that looked so dominant for Jamie Boyt in that previous game. It's tough, though, with Scovillain, because it's what we were talking about, eggs in baskets before. It's one of those Pokemon that you kind of feel like you're putting quite a lot of eggs in that basket. It's there to be a punching bag almost, to redirect and soak up those hits. And sure, dish out some spicy sprays, but could be risky.
But this one is one that has Overheat and Giga Drain. So
true.
A few other... there it is. Called it out here.
Nice.
Is the Milotic and the Weirdeer. So Jamie coming back to the Weirdeer after leaving it in the back in game 1, kind of trying to condition Lorenzo to maybe not bring King Gambit in the lead. Got that right. But equally, this Scovillain, I think, looks like it's in a really strong position to start putting on some pressure. Unlike the Shadow Balls in game 1 that were hailing down onto Milotic, Giga Drain is super effective. And even though Scovillain typically is using Spicy Spray, redirecting attacks into it, it's easy to forget that it's actually got a really, really high base attack and special attack stat.
Scovillain is going to be getting all the more peppery, and there is that Mega. Spicy Spray is one of the best new abilities we have access to, and Lorenzo wants to give us a showcase as to why. Fake Out means that Weirdeer is not going to be acting at this turn, meaning it's just the Giga Drain from the Scovillain. Milotic will be able to take that at least 2 more times, which is really useful for Jamie to know. Having said that, we could have a higher roll on a successive turn, but the Hypnosis without any coils will just be connecting now. So all of the eggs in the Scovillain basket, and Lorenzo's looking like, oh dear, I didn't bet on the sleepy Spicy Spray.
I mean, there's one thing hitting a lot of sleep powders in a row. Hypnosis is less accurate than that, but Jamie committing to it. I mean, it's part of his core strategy, right? It's trying to maybe call out that the Fake Out wasn't going down into either of the Pokemon on Jamie's side and saying, well, I either get Gravity or I get a Hypnosis, or I just attempt to go for a Hypnosis. But nice seeing the stat alignment there for Milotic coming out. Is Sassy being boosted in its special defense, one of its highest natural stats to be able to play with. And so Milotic actually shrugging off that big Giga Drain very, very well. Now Lorenzo, I think, has to go back to the drawing board a little bit, unless he thinks that the Sneasler's close combat might be able to finish the job on this Milotic. Cannot protect itself.
Rolling that dice, but no, the Milotic is going to be brought down very low, but It's going to be hanging on, and now this Weird Era is in such a fantastic position. Side shield bash, easily enough to get the one-hit KO onto Sneasler. Sound effects provided by the one and only Ben Kiriakou, and a defense boost to boot onto this Weird Era. Again, another reason to run this very, very niche Pokemon in this format. So good into Sneasler. Double super effective damage against Poison and Fighting, and Life Dew. Wonderful to have access to that, and it's going to stack with Milotic's leftovers here. Ben, I can hear you chuckling.
It's one of Jamie's favourite moves. He really, really loves setting up these board positions, boosting up, maybe trading some health for it, and then going for a Life Dew and just recovering all of that back. Now it's the turn for Basculegion to come in a little bit earlier than it did before. Let's not forget, it's only got one boost to its last respects, and it's going to be able to put some pressure onto Milotic and the Weird Era. I think the biggest question is when this Scovillain is going to be waking up, and I think that's what Lorenzo really needs to bank on in this spot.
Basculegion's putting on some pressure, but let's not forget this Weird Era does have a defense boost as well, and obviously Last Respects isn't doing anything, so even a Wave Crash wouldn't be doing as much damage as Lorenzo would have liked.
And you think it's like, whether or not Lorenzo's got King Gambit in the back as well is a big, big deal in this board state. Here's Last Respects getting the KO onto the Milotic, and I wonder if Lorenzo's overall strategy is try to knock out every Pokemon that is not Weird so that the King Gambit can clean up in the back. That's going to be very difficult to do when Jamie is just landing Hypnosis after Hypnosis. No gravity on the field either.
I don't think we've seen a Hypnosis miss yet over the course of this 3-game set. It's unbelievable. These Pokemon love their trainers, and we love to see it. Komo, the first time this Pokemon has been brought for Jamie, begging the question as to what is the Pokemon in the back. One would expect the Mega Evolution-capable Floette, but Komo is a Pokemon that can get boosted up with its Clangorous Soul and then sweep through with Clanging Scales, and that's exactly the opportunity that has been afforded to Jamie Boyt here, with a couple of snoozing targets over on Lorenzo's side, but this Scovillain, I believe, is guaranteed to wake up this turn.
It is.
And that's exactly what happened. The overheat targeted into this physically defensive Weird Era, but it can still shrug that off. And now let's not forget that Scovillain is easing up a double drop to its special attack. Basculegion staying asleep, meaning that the Weird Era can now make its Hypnoses or the more accurate, as if Jamie needed it.
As like, now Jamie's like, no, honest, gravity was in play the whole time.
Exactly.
It was definitely, you just weren't looking properly there. And now the Komodo, this is the thing about having all of these Hypnoses, and it's like back in Regulation Set C in Scarlet and Violet, where players were using Tinglu and Fisher. You click the button enough times, it's going to land. And okay, Jamie landed it early in all of those button pressing fiascos that he's doing, but actually, like, he's got so many options to use Hypnosis turn after turn after turn. All he needs is for one or two of them to hit over the course of a set, and then it opens the door for Pokemon like Komodo, like the Ceruledge, to come in and boost themselves up, and then take the advantage that way.
Okay, Scovillain's going to be switching out, and it will be King Gambit coming in, so well called here, Ben. So Lorenzo wants to get this Weird Era isolated, so the Dark-type moves are going to be all the more powerful. The Clanging Scales, they take it pretty well, and this Basculegion will be healing up as well with its Citrus of course, King Gambit resisting that Dragon-type damage. Basculegion is staying asleep, much to Lorenzo's frustration. The Side Shield Bash whittling away, and one more Clanging Scales, and that Basculegion should be down.
The downside of the Komodo here is that in order to do all of that lovely spread-type damage that it does, it has to drop its defense, and there's two physical Pokemon on the other side of the field. The Basculegion has taken its mandatory turn of sleep and now could have its chance of waking up. And so I'm wondering if a Black Glass's Sucker Punch, even resisted, plus an Aqua Jet with the adaptability boost that Basculegion has, is enough. Worth noting again, if the Weird Era is the last Pokemon remaining and King Gambit is still on Lorenzo's side of the field, there is nothing that Jamie can do. As many Hypnoses as you like, Side Shield Bash is never going to do any damage to it.
I guess you could whittle away all your PP and then go for Struggle on the King Gambit, but that's still going to be quite the struggle to try and get the KO. It's the Wake Up. It's just the Protect, actually, on the Basculegion here, so no damage heading that way. At least it's not snoozing anymore. The Drain Punch, though, double super effective, of course, into the King Gambit. And now this combo is healing back all the way up to full. Jamie is giving us a masterclass as to how to run these setup teams, and teams that, of course, can recover HP as well. Jamie loves them, and we love to see it. Side Shield Bash, of course, going into the Protect Shield now. And now, the forfeit just going to be locked in.